What's good, people? It's your boy Ghost back again with another video. It's been a little while, but today we've got something a little bit different. Now, I know you could probably tell by whatever I've named this video, I've probably named it the obvious, but that's okay. I'm still going to sit here and act all mysterious because, well, through the sheer power of subscriber count, we were able to pull a little something off, got a little something different together, and hopefully it's the first, but hopefully it's the first of many to come on this channel. So yeah, here we've got a channel first. Today I want to show to you the Yamaha XSR 700. Yes sir, we did it. We got someone to give us a bike. I may have pried it from their little hands, but we got it. So this is, as many of you probably know already, an A2 bike. I'm not really going to go over the specs too much apart from the obvious. It's about, what, 700cc, more in the 650 class. It's got about 74 horsepower and a ton of torque. There's so much torque. It's lovely to ride around the city, but not so much on the motorway, but we'll get to that a bit later. As you know, your boy likes to test limits of these bikes and see what these things can really do. So yes, I took her on the motorway. I took her on the motorway holding a passenger as well, and I went back on the motorway by myself. I did a little couple twisties here and there. This bike is really nimble actually. I quite like that, and with the torque as well, coming out of corners, you just gone. I wish this thing had an exhaust, but unfortunately we weren't able to do that. We just weren't able to do that. So we're rolling stock exhaust, but she still sounds alright. Let's do a little sound test real quick. If you listen closely, listen to that Yamaha CP2 engine scream. Again, you know it's stock, but we know what these bikes can do. It's a twin, but with that CP2, you know we've got that nice little change in the crank position, so she knocks out a nice little noise if you do have an exhaust. Here and there you hear some little burbles, even with this little stock exhaust, but it's a stock exhaust. It sounds like pants, we know this. But if you are to get this bike yourself, slap an exhaust on it, you will not be disappointed. I think that's all to say right here. Let's get on the road and talk some more, properly, in depth. Okay, so I'm just figuring out how to use this new DJI Osmo Action, figuring out if I should transition to it or not from the GoPro, and I've made some mistakes. It's looped over some video that I recorded, unfortunately, so I'm just gonna have to do a voiceover of the actual video that you can see right now, because I did a whole segment talking and that's gone. So I've had this bike for about 2 weeks. I've done over roughly 400 miles on London roads and some twisties and some motorways with and without a pillion. Let's talk about the seat height though. The seat height is a bit higher than the MT-07 and definitely higher than my ZX6R. I've been tiptoeing on it, not too much, not too bad, I'd say, but similar to the way I tiptoe on a ZX6R. Just for reference, I'm about 5'5", so any of you that are 5'5" and higher, you'll be perfectly fine riding this bike. Even though I tiptoe the bike, it doesn't affect me whatsoever. I feel completely comfortable on this bike. Let's talk about the suspension. Now, the suspension itself I found actually alright, not too stiff, not too soft. As you know, when suspension is too soft it can cause issues going through corners, but this wasn't the case with the XSR 700. I think taking corners was completely fine. It didn't throw me off or make me unstable in the corners, so I think that's a good sign of a decent suspension setup. But there was a little issue we'll talk about a bit later, which could indicate that suspension was just a tad too soft, but it's not a major issue unless you're carrying a passenger. But like I said, we'll talk about that later. The rear seat pegs were not comfortable for passengers. So, I mean, look at this bike. It's pretty small anyway. I wouldn't recommend taking passengers on it unless you actually had to. The way the seat pegs were, just the position of them, it wasn't comfortable. My passenger kept on cramping up. We did a journey from London to Northampton. It can be about a 2-hour journey, give or take what traffic is like. Normally we do it in one go on my ZX6R, but on the XSR 700 we had to stop at a service station just because she was cramping up way too much on the bike, and we just couldn't continue any longer. So we had to take that little break there. Another thing, we'll go back to the suspension and the passenger side of it. I think it was just a slight bit on the soft side. If, like me, you live in a London residential area, you have those harsh speed bumps. And it tended to happen that on those harsh speed bumps, when we went over them, even when we were going really slow, the bike had a tendency to scrape over those, which of course is a bit of an issue. Now, I don't know what was scraping because I didn't go and have a look, but if this had continued to happen, then of course you're at risk of bending an exhaust pipe or scraping a belly pan, which is not what you want, of course. Let's talk about the seat. The seat looks comfortable. I mean, look at it. It looks pretty nice. I won't lie. When I first saw this, I thought, okay, this is going to be a nice ride. But it leaves a bit to be desired. Now, let me expand upon that. It looks comfy. It looks squishy. It looks like you could sit in it for quite a while. Pause. But after about 2 hours, it starts to feel like you've been sitting down on a plank of wood. If I was to have this bike as my only bike, changing the seat would be something that I would do pretty soon, because honestly, it didn't do it for me. It really didn't do it for me. Other than that, for city riding, I'm sure it will be fine. If you're just doing those half an hour, 1 hour commutes, I think you'll be pretty fine with how the seat performs. It's only on the longer ride, outside of the city rides, those kind of things, where I think the seat would start to become a problem, so you definitely want to look into that. One small issue I had, it's not a big issue, but I like to ride with my mirrors, especially because I like to ride in the city. Most of my riding is city riding, so I feel like having functioning mirrors is pretty imperative. That's why I keep those 2 big mirrors on my ZX6R. I mean, that and of course the turn signals on them, they look beautiful. I love them. But mainly because I don't really have to look too much. Like, I glance up, I have that big mirror out there, I can see what's behind me, no problem. I'm merging to the left lane, easy peasy. On the XSR, I don't know what it was, but this left mirror, I just couldn't get it in the right position. No matter what I did, it just didn't want to work with me at all. It was really funky. I've never experienced that on any bike. Even I had the chance to ride an MT-07. Currently, right now, I'm riding a CB1000. No problems with the mirrors whatsoever. But this mirrored, I don't know, man, it just wouldn't work with me. It just wouldn't whatsoever. So, of course, I have to mention it, as it's something that did happen while I was riding this bike. But if you're someone who doesn't ride with mirrors, or you don't use the mirrors anyway, I know a lot of people don't bother with mirrors and just turn their neck. That's not a problem for you, then it is what it is. But I feel like I have to mention it. One thing I really did like on this bike are the clocks. The tacho is really nice. That all-in-one circular, the retro styling on this, they did a pretty good job, I won't lie. And I'm not someone who likes retro styling, but I really did like it on here. Now, it's clear, simple to read, and that's all you really need in a set of clocks, really and truly. As long as you can look down, see what speed you're going, the temperature of the bike, all the basic stuff, the mileage, it's all there at a glance. And what more can you honestly want in a tacho? One thing I feel like I do have to mention as well, it was pretty hard sometimes to get it into neutral. Now, I know what you're going to say. I'm a spoiled man, right? I ride a Kawasaki, and what that means is you get something called a positive neutral finder. Now, what that is basically when I'm stopped at a traffic light and I'm in first, I click up a little bit and it goes into neutral every single time. I know, it doesn't hit second, not once, I promise you. And like I said, I'm a very spoiled man because of this. So you'd think naturally when I move on to a different bike and it doesn't have that, I'd have an issue finding neutral. This isn't the case, I promise you. Like I said, I'm riding the CB1000 right now and I find neutral more often than not. But for some reason, on this XSR, it just did not want to work with me. Sometimes I'd stop, put it in first and find second every single time. I'd go down and find first every single time. It's almost like neutral wasn't there. Neutral had left the chat. It wasn't in the room with us. and for the life of me, I couldn't find out why. You know, I did the little move forward, move back, try and find it again. No hable. Just didn't want to work with me. So yeah, I feel like, of course, I had to mention that, because that was a thing also. If you go to get this bike, you may experience that. I don't know why it happened. It happened on multiple occasions. Like, sometimes it will be fine and it will slide right into neutral, and other times it just wouldn't. The neutral wasn't there. That's my quick rundown of this bike. Honestly, it's an A2 bike with plenty of torque for you restricted riders out there. While its suspension is squishy, which can make it feel lacking when pushing through corners, I think its torque and brakes up more than makes up for it. Honestly, ultimately leaves you with a fun weekend runner or a punchy front of the lights filtering beast for your daily commute, which sounds about as good as it looks if naked retro is your thing. For me, taking away the fact that I'm a sports bike snob, I think it's a solid 7 out of 10. The only time I really felt it lacking was when I allegedly was pushing it way past the legal limit on the motorway while being blasted full power by oncoming winds. That's my 2 cents of it, man. Honestly, once again, I have to apologise that this wasn't the video that I wanted to make, but the show must go on. Again, this is the first for the channel. It won't be a last. CB1000 incoming. It could have been the MT09, but unfortunately the MT09 broke down. I'm not having a good time of it right now, I'm telling you. So yeah, hopefully next week we'll get that CB1000 review up. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me. I appreciate you if you're still here, and we'll see you next week. I've been your boy Ghost. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm out. Love.